What's good, y'all? Today we have another 40K battle report game summary of the Orc Tactical Brigade versus Necron STARSHATTER Arsenal. So if you're wondering how these two armies match up against each other and how the game went, you're going to want to stick around because I'm going to essentially condense this 3-hour game into 20 minutes, give you what worked, what didn't work, what we learned. And spoiler, there was a lot that didn't work, so you're gonna want to stick around for this one. And yeah, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's freaking get into it. So today we have Lichpin Layout 8 Hammer and Anvil deployment and testing out another StarShatter list today. You can more or less call it the Necron castle build. So you got the Silent King, you got the Spider, you got the Reanimator, and we're just trying to see what we can do. We have 2 units of flayed ones infiltrating up, so kind of screening behind this wall here and behind this wall here. So basically you would have to put something, right here in order to interact with these flayed ones, and calling it a day. So let's switch over to the list here. That's what we're looking at. So you want to see it in more detail, I'm not going to read it line by line, but go ahead and pause the video, check it out. I think the orc list is the Nottingham special from last weekend. So, yeah. And let's flip over to the game here. Oh boy, were the Necrons disrespected? They were disrespected today. All right, and boy, do we need a game like this. All right, it felt good. It felt good. All right, so let's get into it. What worked, what didn't work, and here we go. So deployment, pretty standard stuff. We're more or less like our natural expansion is here. His natural expansion is here. We got these nice walls. And Ken is going to get first turn, all right? And he gets, unfortunately, some duds. He gets Mark for Death and Engage in all fronts. Can't do Mark for Death. I'm just going to nominate the 2 Arcs and the Silent King, so he cycles that. And he gets Secure No Man's Land, which was a much better option, okay? So he is going to be looking to securing here, and getting Engage in all fronts potentially over here, okay? And I think, and as you know, if you've watched these battle reports before, I'm going to be sprinkling in some insights throughout, so just going to want to stick around and try to give you as much knowledge as I can to help you guys, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about, and, it's fun. So first thing, that was a slight mistake here. I think these flayed ones, even though, they weren't on the point, I think having them back here would have been a little bit of a smarter decision, because as you're going to see how the game played out, is he was able to essentially shift up these Storm Boys and just get a charge, so it allowed him to get Secure No Man's Land and also get Engage in all fronts, okay? So if I would have had them at least like behind here, it does open the door for like a Heroic Intervene play, which isn't necessarily a bad option. And it gives him a longer charge, right? So, you're looking at roughly like an 8-inch charge rather than like a 3-inch charge. So, good thing to point out there that didn't work out so well. So, he charges in, and lucky for me, he doesn't kill the flayed ones. So I'm like, let's freaking go. Storm Boys attack. I thought they were going to clean him up. We spiked on some saves. I think there was 2 flayed ones left. Killed a couple Storm Boys back, and basically pass it over to me. So he's going to get secure here, and that is essentially the board state going into bottom of turn 1, okay? So bottom of turn 1, I'm going to get not a good pull either. Engage in all fronts and bring it down. Now, the first thing that I like to point out is potentially the Stalker, when I scouted it in, it could have moved up here, okay? Which might have been a better play. Tough to say, but I was trying to also like conserve the resources. And headspace in my game is I'm like, okay, I got bottom of turn. I think if I play conservative, I for sure can get a 15. And let me just make sure I lock in my 8s, and I'm just going to whittle down his resources. Now, I will say I was experimenting with a lot of stuff this game and trying to just see like the damage potential of orcs. So I think like in a tournament setting, I wouldn't have this is a good game to watch of like what not to do. I think with STARSHATTER in some ways, but again, really, really good to see and some good lessons here. So fast forwarding here, bottom of turn 1, we're going to get engage and bring it down. So we're going to try to go after this vehicle here. So we're going to shift up the king. Let me just show you what the board state looks like here. So we're going to shift up the king. We can't fall back with the flayed ones, which I think was another. I made a lot of like little mistakes. You could tell me my a little rustier. I've been must have been painting a lot the last few days. I had I don't know, just a lot of little errors here. So the flayed ones maybe should have fallen back, but he gets his react move, so he could have like basically moved back behind the wall. Granted, the king could just like indirect him, but at the same time, I was like, oh, okay, like I'll just clean him up with the spider, because I advanced up the king so these Minears could get the 2 shots on the vehicle. Now, here's one thing to point out. I know a lot of you were wanting to have me go into a little bit more detail on weapon profiles and talking about where the damage came from, and I agree. But again, I'm trying to like keep these short as well. But the Stalker is basically placed here to draw a line here for ignore cover. And the Minears are going to go here, because essentially if he gets 1 6-up invul, which is possible, the truck's going to live, right? So we need to have like a little bit better of a way to get rid of these guys. And the other problem was you have these guys right here that are really hard to draw a line on. So the only way I could really do that is just bringing out like a Locust Destroyer the first turn, which is why I love just this unit of 1, 55 points, 12 shots, just great for the early game, cleaning up pieces off the table. And we are going to move up the flayed ones, which you'll see later as well, because he has another unit of 5 in the truck that are going to get out. And if I don't have anything that can charge it, then he can still take the point. Okay. So let's fast forward here. Basically, the Stalker fires here. It ends up actually doing 4 damage to the truck, which was perfect. So it was left on 6 wounds. The Silent King fires 2 shots on the Minears. 1 goes through, doesn't save it. Truck explodes. He gets the guys out. The Locust Destroyer cleans up that unit. And that is essentially the board state at the bottom of 1. And the worst thing that happened was the spider charges in with the flayed ones and completely whiffs. Like, was really bad. Like, I don't even think it killed 1 Storm Boy somehow, even when he was on the point. So it allowed him to basically consolidate and then still get on the point, and then he's going to get his primary. So I'm like, cool. So that happened. And then going into his top of 2, he's going to get a 13 on primary because he's going to control this objective, and this objective. And he's going to get sabotage and area denial. So again, pretty straightforward. You're going to see him. He's going to shift these resources up here. He's going to shift this truck over here for sabotage. Pretty straightforward because that truck is lower than 4 inches, so there's no way that I can interact with it. And then he's going to shift up resources here to get area denial. This is obviously all dead more or less this turn. Just cheap screening stuff. Trash is what it is. Okay. So you're going to see that unfold here. And let's give you right here. Okay. So resources shift up. He's going to ingress in, or sorry, not ingress in. He's going to drop his looters right here. I'm going to ingress in my Ophidians right here, as you can see. And outside of 9, so we can try to interact with this objective right here. And that's pretty much the turn. So he's going to get area denial. He's going to clean up this resource, and he shoots at the king. And I elect to this game use the advance move just to move him forward. I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to experiment. I'm like, I just don't want to park him on an objective this game. Let's just start like just yeeting up here and just like see what he can do. I just wanted to just see like the damage potential. Yeah, it's just not a good idea. Just don't do that. So, but it was fun. so we moved up. We moved up the Silent King. As you can see here, he's rezzing up, and we're going to go into bottom of turn 2 now. So he gets his, we're going to get a 3 on primary because we just control this objective and he holds this one. And then we're going to get assassination and cleanse. So there is a character in this unit right here, which worked out perfect. So we're going to basically move up the king, bait an Overwatch. He does Overwatch, doesn't do any damage. And so he moves up safely, which opens up the Emetics to drop in here without having to worry about Overwatch and fire at this unit here. and try hopefully clean them up because they're also on the point. The hex mark is going to shift over here, get some damage on here, which unfortunately didn't work out too well, which you're going to see here in a second. And then all of these resources line the wall and shift here. Okay. So here is the problem with the whole situation here. So going into my turn, these guys all fire here. We get the Ludas down to like one the character left. So I had to spend a whole nother activation for the Doomsday Arc to go in to make sure that I kill the characters. So unfortunately, I would have loved to have 2 Doomsday Arcs on this unit and basically just picking up all this, but because he rolled really well in his saves, I think really throughout this game. I mean, there's good spikes like back and forth, but he rolled really well here, kept the character alive, couldn't get him, so we had to use the Arc, got Assassinate off of here. And then the King, Minears are going to fire at this truck, pop that resource. The Hex Mark whiffs here. I think he kills like 1 guy, so then I had to waste an activation for indirect, which I would have loved to put in these Gretchen back here to get rid of these Storm Boys. And then the 2 Minears fired here with the Star Shots. Okay, so you're going to see that unfold. And the Silent King charges in on the Storm Boys, cleans them up with melee, and I pass it over to him. Okay, so this is top of 3. He's going to get an 8 on primary because he holds this objective and this objective. Okay, and then he is going to get no prisoners and containment. All right, so pretty easy no prisoner turn for this one. He's got a king on a silver platter right here, and he's got these guys right here, so there's just no way he's not walking away from 4 points. And what do you know? He got 4 points and no prisoners. He's going to contain with his truck, and this is his Wa turn, so he can't really afford to use another unit to contain because he needs all of these resources to go after the king. All right, so you're going to see all this shift up. And Ken was like super smart about this. I want to showcase some positioning here. This is me trying to figure out like ingress play potentially, but there really wasn't. But he moves this unit here to prevent the king from moving backwards 6 inches, which I thought was super cool to see. Very good on his part. I really didn't want to move it back, to be honest. I was like saving the CP for counteroffensive because I knew he's probably going to have 2 breakable units come in, and so the one gets to hit, probably doesn't kill the king, and then the king can just like basically kill the other unit. But unfortunately, what happened is the king, as you can see here, zoom in, failed his battle shock test. So no stratagems for the king today. No stratagems for the king. Just needed to roll a 5, guys. Just needed to roll a 5. But that did not happen. That did not happen. So the king is battle shocked, and it's not looking good for the king, guys. All right, it's just not looking good. So you're gonna see here, he's gonna move all these resources in. You're gonna see that here. So he cleans up these destroyers down here. This all moves in on the king, and yeah, if spoiler alert, the king is dead. He's a goner. So, yeah, he's gone turn 3. And then basically going into my turn, it's looking pretty rough at this point. We're gonna get a 3 on primary, and we get defend stronghold and secure no man's land. So we'll secure here with the tomb blades for 2. We'll defend here. There's no way for me to take the point here because he's keeping these guys here. So the Ophidians obviously can't base or fit their base right here, and they don't fly. Okay, I was surprised. The Ophidians don't fly. They're infantry, so they can go through walls. But they can't fly over these guys, unfortunately, like Race can't. So maybe one slight downside. But and then basically we're just trying to, like, my Hail Mary was basically a hex mark, shooting here, drawing a line at this unit, and trying to kill enough with this in the reanimator to clear this screen, so then it opens up the Ophidians to charge in and potentially like clean up these resources. Because like if there's space here with the +1 to wound strat, like in all this shooting, I think legit we could potentially clean this up, but did not roll well, and he rolled like again really well on his saves this turn here, and Yeah, you know, that's just what happened. I mean, I just really didn't kill much. I mean, even like here, the Ophidians charge in. They got handed him like 9 wounds, and I think he made like 7 5-ups or something. And so that unit survived, and that was pretty much. I mean, we pretty much talked it out from here because I was like, dude. I mean, I'm all about playing it out, but like, it was. I mean, there's just nothing left. So I get secure, pass it over to him. He's going to get a 13 on primary because he still holds this objective and this objective. Sorry, this one, and this one. And then he gets assassination and established locus. So super easy. We have 2 hex marks right here. And then he locuses with this unit in the back with an auto pass. And then basically top of turn 4, he's going to clean up all of these resources because they're extremely squishy. Amphibians only 4-up save, 3 wounds. Tank buses are the perfect profile because they're 3 damage each. So I would just assume like all of that is dead. And then going into my turn, we're going to get a 3 on primary again, and we just score extend battle lines. And then pass it over to him. He's going to get a 13 on primary again, and he gets extend battle lines and behind enemy lines. So pretty easy pull there, where he could... Yeah, just extend on one of these and then get behind enemy lines with the unit here, or the truck or something. And then I'm going to get a 3 on primary again, and then we get behind enemy lines and storm hostile, which I don't know if it would have scored. Who knows? I mean, it was pretty much a game that. So, yeah. So, 96-41 to the Orcs, man. Tactical Brigade. Super good to see this on the table. Super good rep. And, yeah. I think the biggest thing with this rep, I think, you know, I wanted to try, you know, just like, all right, let's just not park the king on a point. Like, let's just like go after some stuff. And I also wanted to see like, okay, what is truly like the damage potential of these units together. So I think in hindsight, like really all you do in this game is, I mean, literally just park the king on the objective. Okay. So you have the king here, right? And then like with the reanimator hex mark, and you basically line this wall. We talk about surface area all the time, and you prevent, like, he's going to be able to shoot it. He's going to be able to shoot at you, but because he is behind this wall, it really limits where he can connect as far as in combat. And you know, he was able to use this wall to his advantage this game, when I should have been able to use it to my advantage because it was on my side. So good learning op there. So definitely, you know, things of like what not to do, and then just like a couple little minor errors. I thought I read like the damage right on a couple things, like with the Storm Boys, and then yeah, both units of Storm Boys like really did their work this game, and misjudged. Like I just under what do you call it? Just didn't do enough damage, and I thought it was like overkill, but it definitely wasn't, and just whiffed. So yeah, extremely good rep. I'm going to run this mission again this week just to get some more practice on this layout. And it's going to be going against the new Tau detachment. So stick around for that. I might be running a different list, or it might be the same list. I don't know. We'll see. But if you stuck around this long, seriously appreciate you watching. And let's link 2 videos up top, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace, y'all.